What's up? What's up? It's your man Suede Covington right here on the Suede Covington Show. The best thing on the planet, baby. You know what I'm saying? And here with our guest, Doctor. What do you want to call yourself, man?
Just call me Dr. Troy, man.
Hey, we here with. Just call me Dr. Troy, man. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing, baby. You always have to do it.
It's another wonderful Wednesday, man. You know what I'm saying? It is 5 o'clock, so if you're moving around in traffic and you listen to us in your car while you in the traffic jam or out here, you know what I'm saying? It is 5 p.m. in Detroit. We are out of Detroit, Michigan. You know what I mean? Hey, look, Doc, I just want to ask, man, what are the real side effects of smoking marijuana? Like, what are the, because one side effect is forgetfulness, because they forget that Michigan is a legal state to smoke weed, but when they go to Ohio and other states, they forget that it's not legal. It is illegal when you travel out of state. So
they get picked up.
Then they get picked up.
They sit for about, if it's a Friday, they sit for about 3 days. If it's like a Monday through Thursday, then they sit for about maybe 6 hours.
Right. So forgetfulness and
Slow
I do it all the time. Yeah. So what is the side effects besides I forgot I'm not in Michigan no more?
Forgetfulness, delayed reaction time, and you get hungry.
You get hungry. So be honest.
Nobody in the history of the world,
okay, talk to me,
has ever,
okay,
ever overdosed on marijuana.
You cannot overdose on marijuana.
You cannot. Now, if it is actually pure, good, just Reggie marijuana, if it's not laced with anything,
Reggie, what does Reggie mean?
Just regular.
Regular weed. What is regular weed now? What is regular weed now?
That's the thing. It's been so crossbred and all these different hybrids of it. You really don't know what you're getting, so you have to trust your dispensary. You have to trust your man. You got to trust everybody now.
But you didn't have to trust them before? So you telling me using drugs is really about trust?
Basically.
Because I'm trusting you to give me a good product.
Ask David Ruffin.
David Ruffin.
Anybody coming to see you, Otis? Coming to see me.
What if the 5 heartbeats? Night like this, I still got it.
Oh.
So really doing drugs is really helping you out, educational wise. Like it has some type of value because it's teaching you trust.
I'll tell you this. Okay.
Right.
Take a look at. No.
Okay.
All right. There are over what? No.
Okay.
Boom,
All right.
boom.
All right.
Cigarettes.
No judgment.
Regular cigarettes.
Regular cigarettes.
There are over 900 carcinogens, which are cancer-causing agents, in a cup of coffee.
Oh, you got me on that. I thought you were getting ready to say the cigarettes, but in coffee.
In coffee. Do you know how many carcinogens, cancer-causing agents are in a cigarette?
No, I don't.
Tobacco cigarette?
No, I don't.
8.
I don't smoke. 8. But this says
not 800. 8.
8.
That's it.
So you saying so what you're trying to tell me is a cup of coffee is more deadly than smoking cigarettes?
In terms of bodily health, yes.
So who are you working for? Are you working for the cigarette company? Did y'all send him in here to try to sell cigarettes? Is that what this is? No. So he just compared coffee to cigarettes and said that there's less carcinogens. And for you don't know, people who don't know what carcinogens is, I know all of you do, but I'm going to just say it anyway. Carcinogens is a cancer-causing agent, something that causes cancer. So he just said that there are more cancer-causing items in a cup of coffee than there is in a box of cigarettes. Did you hear that? That's crazy. So who hired you? What cigarette company hired you? What cigarette? Oh, she works for the cigarette company?
No, I just owe her child support.
Yeah. So she hooked you up with this deal to whatever, man. So, so cigarettes. So marijuana. There's no side effects. There's nobody who's ever overdosed on marijuana.
Never.
Unless
my
next
like
question.
raided a Jimmy John's.
Then they got in trouble and they ate too much. Now answer me this. Is there a point where you get high, and can you get higher than that point smoking marijuana? So what I'm saying is, there's a ceiling.
Yeah.
you reach that ceiling. If you smoke more, do you get higher, or does it stop at that ceiling?
No, you have a tolerance. You have a tolerance. It was almost like the joke Cat Williams was telling, where he was smoking with Snoop Dogg and they had all the fucking blunts in rotation.
Yeah.
And he was like, he was higher than he's ever been before.
Right.
You can build up a tolerance, and you can raise. It's almost like Congress when you raise your debt ceiling. You can raise your debt ceiling.
Okay.
But that ceiling can only go so far before you eventually collapse.
Okay.
It's almost like people who are. We have a term in the medical community for alcoholics. We call them alcoholics that can walk. Those that go into, those that can go into their job, drunk off their ass, still do their job, maintain the job, maintain their demeanor and everything, and you wouldn't know.
So we call those functioning alcoholics.
Basically.
Same walking alcoholics,
Walking alcoholics,
alcoholics. Yeah. Right.
It's the same thing with marijuana. I've never known marijuana to ever like really disrupt me personally. I've never known marijuana to disrupt or like hinder anybody's capacity to do their job. I mean, I took a break for a year and a half. What? I took a break for a year and a half to go work at the Chrysler plant.
Yeah.
I've never seen it affect any.
But you just said reaction time.
It's delayed by 30%.
Right. So that's you're not working at full capacity.
So you say you got say you got a 10-second window to do something.
Right.
A person that is not smoking marijuana will do it instantly on that very first second. Another person who is smoking marijuana with that 10% capacity, it would only take them 3 seconds less to react as opposed to the person who's not. That's within a 10-second time frame.
Yeah, but you got other factors involved. That person is high, so their mind is not right. They, man, I'm high. And then their reaction time go from 3% to 35%. Because they high, they really don't care. When you high, do you really think about working?
You do. You still focus on the task at hand if you are that focused.
Okay, so then why were they drug testing for it? Why
They're drug testing for it because with private health insurances that are done through the companies, they don't want to be responsible for you as an individual because you are at that point your own liability.
But at the same time, your what do I want to call it? Your chemical makeup or whatever, your decision making process is affected by it.
It's
regardless. Well, affected. I didn't say restricted. I'm saying it's affected because some people sit here and will drink a beer and say, I'm not drunk, I'm not this, I'm not that. But in actuality, you are, because you are altering the chemicals in your body when it's altering your state. You may not recognize it, though.
Yeah, it does convince you. And therefore, you have to use your own inner judgment skills to listen to the people around you.
But they're not doing that. They listening to the can. They listening to the joint, the blunt.
It be on your shoulder. It be on your shoulder talking to you sometimes.
Yeah.
Saying you can do this.
Right.
You can do this.
Or no, it says you don't have to do this.
Or no, when it comes to driving or whatnot, it says you can do this. You can manage this. When it says go talk to that fat bitch up there.
Oh.
You can do this.
Hey man, you got to cut down on the cursing. We don't like to curse on the Suede Covington show.
My apologies.
That much. Yeah, you have an extensive vocabulary, and I know you can.
Okay. When you're talking to that rotund individual over there in the corner, it says, it's dark in this club.
Yeah.
You can go talk to her.
Yeah.
These strobe lights ain't lying to you.
The strobe light's not lying.
And then when the lights come on in the club at about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then you realize you've been talking to one of them little, what was it called? Alice the Goon from Popeye.
Alice the Goon. So that's what I'm saying. So people think that, I smoke a joint. I can still function. I'm not high. It hasn't changed my thought process, but it does. That's my point here.
I will say it does change your thought process.
So listen. Let me ask you. So does any alcohol, marijuana, any type of pills, any type of drugs, does alter your thinking process or your chemical balance, even at minimum amounts or amounts that you have tolerance to? So if you have a tolerance to 10 beers, one beer is not going to affect you, but it does affect you.
It affects you slightly. I would say it all depends on time frame, how long you've been doing this.
Okay.
Because that builds up your tolerance even more. How long you've been doing this, the type of drug you're talking about, because alcohol is considered a drug.
Yeah, it is. It's a drug.
Alcohol, marijuana, even tobacco is considered a drug.
Yeah, it's a legal
So
drug.
I would say it all depends on the type of drug, the time frame of use, how long you've been using it.
Okay.
And also your tolerance level of it.
So what you're saying is, one can of beer is not going to affect you at all if you've been drinking 13 cans for 17 years.
Yes, I will say, because see, I used to be a very big liquor drinker.
Okay. So you like to drink big bottles of liquor?
I would go through 2/5 in a night.
Yeah, that's a big. Whoa.
I would go through 2/5 of gin in a night.
What were you dealing with, Doc? You want to talk about it?
Not. We don't have the time of that. We don't have the time of that.
Say 2/5, bruh. 2/5 is a lot of problems, man. You know what I'm saying? Some people do like a pint. You know what I'm saying? And maybe a fifth, but 2/5?
Yeah.
Of what? I'm curious.
Gin, Bombay.
Gin, Bombay. Bombay's not
Bombay
bad.
gin.
That's not bad.
In a night.
But if it was 5 o'clock, we would have to really go in.
Oh no, I would wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and start drinking.
You would. Oh, so you drink 2/5 throughout the course of the day?
Yes.
So from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, which would, if you woke up at, you said 2?
8 in the morning.
8, so 8 in the morning till what?
Like maybe about 9, 10 o'clock at night.
9 to 10 o'clock at night, you would drink the total of 2
While I
fifths.
was on shift at work.
Shift at work. Wow.
I would drink on my way to work. I would drink on my way back.
That's.
I would just
So
drink until
since you was doing that,
asleep.
would a pint affect you? Because reason I'm asking this question, because there's so many people out there that will say one can of beer, one joint is not affecting me. I'm not high. I still know what I'm doing. And I'm convinced that any type of chemical that's altering your state of being, and you put it in your body, it's not naturally produced by your body. It's altering your state of mind. Maybe not on a full level, but on a minute level. And as you move forward, it starts to grow.
I found myself drinking more because I was trying to get the escapist feeling that I had. So I was literally raising my debt ceiling.
You was raising your tolerance
I was raising my
of
tolerance
alcohol.
level.
How long did it take you to do that?
I would say about 6 years.
6 years to get to 2/5?
Yes. What made me stop? No, not 6 years to get to 2/5.
And what, 2 weeks to get to 2/5?
I drank about 2/5. I would say for about maybe 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
Golly.
And I would continue to mix them. I would use Fireball whiskey was a very good one.
You know what? I've seen a lot of Fireballs. People think that they drink it and you can't tell that they're drinking alcohol because there's a cinnamon taste. smell rather.
Well, there's actually a drink called the Cinnabon. It's Faygo cream soda and Fireball. Yeah. It works. And I, being a little bit of a hypocrite here, I said I would never drink again. I'm not going to drink again because of an issue. Yeah, I know, right? I said hypocrite. I said hypocrite.
You did.
No, I had an issue when I was going to go pick up my ex-wife from work.
Okay.
And we only had one daughter at the time, and she was about a year old. And I was drinking on the way to go get her.
Okay.
It was raining out.
Okay.
And I had a spin out. I had a spin out, almost flipped the car. And I didn't flip the car. It did go on 2 wheels. I was also, this was about 5-6 years ago, so I was also heavy into cocaine at the time. And so I was higher than giraffe ass. I was also drinking and got the car stabilized, whatnot. I pulled off to the side of the road and I hurt my daughter in the car seat. I forgot I had her.
Oh, wow.
I forgot I had her with me.
What did she say?
She didn't really talk much. She was just
No, so she's just making noises.
She sounded like Opie from Family Guy. So I was like, all right. I can't do this
Well,
anymore.
I'm just gonna say,
it was a reality check
was she
for me.
scared or was she just?
She was asleep.
She was asleep. She woke up.
She woke up due to the jarring of the car, but no. So she all she saw was Dad.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, Dad, okay."
Yeah, all she saw was Dad, and Dad was like,
and
making a funny face, so she was laughing.
And she was like, "Oh."
I was like,
and so she was like that, and you was like, "Oh man, what
am I doing?
Yeah,
what am I doing?
Yeah, let me stop."
I was 27.
27.
I was 27.
You're watching the Suede Covington Show live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, man. Right here with your man Suede Covington on the Suede Covington Show. The best thing on the planet, baby. Right here with just Dr. Troy. You know what I'm saying? So what we're discussing is some of the effects and the side effects of alcohol and marijuana. We're discussing, hey, like people who think that I'm having one beer or one joint, it doesn't affect me. And it actually does. It may not affect you as strong as the other person who's not doing it on a regular, but it does start to alter your thought process and your movements. Even if it's on a minute level, but it still alters you. So don't think that, oh, just one beer, it takes more than that. That one beer that you start off with starts to alter you, and then it goes from there. And that's what we're talking about. So I'm just saying, don't run around here saying, oh, I can drink, I can hold my liquor, one beer is not messing with me. In a small way, a small amount, it is messing with you. So anything you put into your body that your body doesn't naturally produce alters you some type of way. And that's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's just like vitamins and creatine. You put that, if you small amounts don't have the same effect as you using 5 scoops. But a half a scoop still affects your body in a small way, not in a major way. And that's what I'm just saying. So just people, just realize that, okay? Don't be running around here saying, oh, that one beer ain't gonna hurt nothing. Yeah, dude, because the one beer can't show up on the breathalyzer depending on when you have it. If you just drunk a beer, you just had a drink and you get in a car and you drive, you get pulled over, the breathalyzer gonna hit you right there.
And it goes down after every hour.
Every hour.
So you could be a 0.04 at 8 o'clock. So say you had a beer at exactly 8 o'clock. You could be a 0.04, just one of these, 24 ounce. You could be a 0.04 at 8 o'clock if you just drink this at 8 o'clock. You go out and drive at 8:15. Mm-hmm. This would be a 0.04. Give it about 2 hours later, you'll probably be down to a 0.02. 0.02. So it goes down. And a lot of people thinking that drinking water helps.
What about a penny in your mouth?
Nope.
What about a mint, a breath mint?
Nope.
What about some Listerine?
Nope.
So it doesn't kill it at all?
Nope.
Does it mess up the test?
It doesn't mess up the test. It can alter it only slightly, but it would only go down by maybe a point.
Okay.
Now, I did beat the breathalyzer.
Oh.
I had a stroke for a moment.
He beat the breathalyzer.
One time.
How did you do it, Doc? How did you do it?
I ate a cigarette.
Dum, dum, dum.
I ate a cigarette.
He went from bad to worse. He ate a cigarette to try to get away from a breathalyzer.
I was smoking a cigarette at the same time I was driving. I got pulled over by Berkeley police.
Yeah.
I put the cigarette out.
Yeah.
And I just broke it off the filter and I just started chewing it. And I swallowed it. Worst taste, worst feeling in the world, but I swallowed it.
Okay.
And I went down because I had a personal breathalyzer because you can buy them at any drugstore.
Okay.
Not advocating that. Not advocating.
He just told you can buy a breathalyzer. Hey, you can buy a breathalyzer at the store to test your own breath before you start driving.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
And I ate it when I left. Hell, that was at the Penthouse Club. I left there, driving down 8 Mile. I was point 0.10.
Okay, you was 0.10. On your home test. You got in the car and was like...
Drove. I was driving.
Yeah. Ate the cigarette.
And they gave me a field sobriety test, but also at the same time. And this was about 12 years ago.
Okay.
And I guess the cops were cool with me. Because I was showing like, oh, okay, well, I just left here. We were celebrating a friend's graduation.
Right.
And because I was still in the valet area when I left, when I blew, and I saw .10. Mm-hmm. He pulled me over. I ate the cigarette. When I blew into his test, it came up .06.
0.06.
The legal limit is .08.
Oh, so he couldn't take you because you was under the legal limit.
Exactly.
Wow, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Again, not advocating. Not advocating. As I hiccup as I said that.
I'm not advocating for any of this. Man, that's crazy. So I'm just,
But I will say, with reaction times in terms of marijuana, in terms of alcohol, in terms of even more illicit substances like cocaine, heroin, and whatnot, it all depends on the type of drug, the length you've been using it, and also your tolerance level.
What's the uptick in the coke use in the
I don't know. I don't know. It used to be X amount of dollars a gram, and now it's higher, and it's like, what?
It sounds like you're a little bothered by the prices going up. So is there an uptick in the usage? Because as
versus demand.
So the generations go. At one time it was opium back in like the West, if I'm not mistaken.
Early 1900s.
Yeah, and then it got opium, and then it went to cocaine. And then it went to crack, and people started using crack. They thought it was cool to smoke crack or put crack in the marijuana.
It was a good weight loss substitute.
Yeah, it was a good weight loss substitute. I know a lot of people that was big and got skinny. But the next thing is...
It also caused you to lose weight in your teeth.
Well, do you know what that trend is? Why is that a trend like that? Like, why is that changes? So from them starting off, using coke, rock stars and everything, and musicians was using marijuana.
Everything comes full circle.
And then now they're using pills and
everything comes full
circle. So
circle.
why do they?
Remember, like the diet pill? Well, you don't remember this. You're not old enough. The diet pills of the 50s.
No.
Or like if you've seen TV shows and they're like, oh, take your diet pills, take this pill, take this. Like hell, I saw a bottle for a toothache medication. I saw this about 2 months ago for toothache medication.
Okay.
It was from late 1800s, early 1900s. It was in a friend's house where, like, their great grandparents had lived, and, like, I guess his great grandmother kept the pill bottle, and it still had pills in it.
Oh,
for toothaches, and you would just let it sit on the tooth and dissolve,
kind of like a stand back, right?
No, it was a pill. It was an actual pill, not powder. And you would just let them sit on there. And me being the dummy that I was like, oh, let me try one. All right, boom.
But it was past expiration date.
It had morphine, cocaine, slight little traces of heroin in it.
Yeah, right.
Potency was down.
Yeah?
Potency was down, but I was like, this wasn't a toothache pill. Back in our great grandmother's day.
So were you high?
No.
No?
No. He did find some tabs of acid in his dad's leather jacket from like 1960 something, and I didn't think it would work either, so I put like 2 on my tongue.
What is wrong with you, man?
I'm a human experiment.
You take.
And he was like, "Do you feel anything?" Nope. 2 hours later, I'm sitting by his pool on his deck. This is in the middle of June. I'm just like, colors. Pretty colors. This is nice.
Why?
Pawing at it like a cat.
Why in the world would you? Why would you
I
do
want to
that?
see what it does.
You already know what it does. You're a doctor.
But it was from the 60s. I want to see if the potency of the drug has gone down.
But can you have did some type of test or put some type of chemicals on it?
Yeah, but it's not as fun.
Yeah, yes it is.
No, it's not as fun.
I mean, what if something would have happened to you because you did that, man?
I
Hey,
have life
look,
insurance.
don't experiment with old medication in the cabinet. Don't be like this guy. Do not.
Don't.
What is wrong with you, Doc? Like, why would you do that, man?
I was going through a lot.
Yeah. Now, was this when you was doing 2/5 a day?
Yeah.
Okay, well that explains everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just.
A lot of people say, "Oh, I hate you." I say, "I hate myself too. I tried to kill myself 7 times. Obviously, I hate myself."
Why did? Whoa! Why you try to use yourself?
Oh, are we going into a new segment? This is Dark Corners with TJ Rose. We're going into the dark corners now.
Yeah, let's go. Let's talk about one of those times. We don't have enough time today to talk about all 7. But yes, what would cause you to try to attempt to kill yourself, man? Now, you know what? I've been depressed, but I've never been to the point where I decided I was trying to just take my life. I never. I'm
going to take the comedy aspect out of it.
Okay. I mean, you can leave it in if you want to, but it doesn't matter.
When you feel like the world would be better off without you.
I've never felt like that.
I have. And it's a very horrible place that I hope no one goes to.
But how do you get there?
A lot of different factors. The most recent time, I didn't attempt, but the most recent time when I felt like that was it was actually earlier this year. Because I'm divorced. So I had my daughters on my oldest daughter's 7th birthday.
Okay.
Due to child support and whatnot that they've been taking from me, but my ex-wife has not seen any of it. Don't know why. She's even been trying to contact the court.
Yeah, well, long as you're paying, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Long as they acknowledge you
paying.
Rearage. Yeah. You don't want to get pulled over, license take, all that nonsense,
exactly.
Man. Yeah.
And I was saying, because my daughter was like, well, I want to do something with you and Mom. She still thinks that we're friends, even though I've tried to be.
Right.
And I said, okay, well, I can't, and due to bills and whatnot that I've had, couldn't afford to really give her a proper birthday. And I was trying to help my ex-wife out, like saying, well, hey, I can pay this to help you and we can do something together for her.
Okay.
But a week prior to that, my grandmother passed away. And so it kind of put like a damper on everything. And my grandmother was my first best friend. She was the one playing me Richard Pryor albums in like first grade and whatnot, showing me.
Wait. Richard Pryor in first grade?
Yeah. Richard Pryor Wanted.
You're not supposed to play that for first grade.
That was my heart. That was my girl.
Go ahead.
It was Wanted, and Is It Something I Said?
Okay.
And I was going to school telling these jokes.
I know you was. That's the whole purpose.
Yes.
You don't get in trouble telling these jokes. Retelling it.
But whenever
white man, black man, Chinese man.
But my mom was at work, so whenever school had to call, she would come up there and rescue.
Oh, your grandma would?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We lived right on the same street. She would just have to walk up the street or just drive up the street. And so it put a damper on everything.
Okay.
I went to. We had the power outage.
Right.
Due to that storm.
Right.
My aunt, my grandmother's sister, calls me. She's saying, "Oh, well, I can't get in touch with my ex-wife, and she's still in that house because she was looking after my grandmother even after the divorce and everything. She was still looking after her. Okay. Which I totally commend her for. I mean, she's been a good rock in all of that. Her new boyfriend. We all knew each other when we first started working together when we got married.
Biff. Talking about Biff.
Yes, Biff. Because I went through financial hardships, especially with the divorce. Okay. So Kelly is the one that, when my car got repoed due to me not being able to take my bills, Kelly got me a car. Okay. I got hit by a reckless driver, and then Kelly got me another car. She's been like helping me.
Shout out to Kelly, yeah.
She's been helping me. Yeah, we're paying the down payment on them, and we do half and half on the note.
Half on the note.
Yeah, because she understands what it's like. She's gone through my bills. She's a great financial mind.
Yeah. She's
gone through my bills, and she's like, okay, well, I'm going to help you with this. I'm going to help you with that, and da-da-da. You're going to get back to what you used to be. She's like, I'm going to make you great again.
You hear that, ladies? That's what you have to do. You have to make sure that you are that benefit to the relationship. Getting your spouse or man back to where he should be, or where he was and better, or getting him to where he should be. I mean, that's part of the relationship, making each other great. If he can't make you great, then you make him great, and in return, he should make you great, and then you should be great together as a couple. That is just how it is. And if you in a relationship and nobody's making nobody great,
You gotta go.
you gotta go.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
But,
You gotta go. But if y'all both not doing nothing and not going nowhere, then y'all made for each other. So that's all I'm saying. Yeah. If you trying to get with some, you trying to better your life, you want to get with somebody who's where you want to be.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're willing to help you
Somebody
get to where
who
they
can
are.
help you build, and you can also help build them.
But they also have
Stroke.
yeah. The master builder.
You gotta help. You gotta help, man.
They gotta have a vision or have a goal themselves and be somewhere, and they can pull you up to where they are. So you need to take that into consideration when you're picking people to build a relationship and have these conversations with. You know what I'm saying? You're watching the Suede Covington Show live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Like, follow, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, man. And I'm your guy right here, your homeboy every Wednesday. It's me, Suede Covington, on the Suede Covington Show. The best thing on the planet, baby. Right here with my man, Dr. Troy. And right now we're talking about reasons why people commit suicide. And he was telling us a real in-depth story on an experience that he had. So, back to Dr. Troy.
Oh, well, thank you. But no, it was right after, because I had her for the weekend, and the next weekend we had that power outage. My aunt called and said, well, can you go and check on the house and whatnot? Mm-hmm. So me and Kelly did, and come to find out she was having a separate birthday party for my daughter. And her boyfriend showed up, and we've all known each other for years.
Yeah. Biff.
Yes, Biff. Little situation happened. I guess she got a cat and whatnot, and then the cat ended up coming out because my mom stumbled, and I caught my mother before she fell out of the door.
Okay.
And I was trying to talk to my ex-wife in private in the back of saying, like, well, hey, look, rules need to be established across the board. If she's in trouble over here, she's in trouble at my house. We have to maintain this consistency. But while I was having that conversation with her, I guess Kelly was talking about like some issues that we were having financial wise and whatnot. I heard him say while I was in the back room talking to my ex-wife, I heard him tell Kelly, oh, I feel sorry for you.
For who, Kelly?
Yeah.
So Biff was talking to Kelly.
Yeah. He said, oh, I feel sorry for you.
So he was trying to hit on Kelly too.
No,
so he was trying to get the girl. He's trying to get the ex-wife.
He's trying to emasculate me, de-emasculate me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a big word for somebody who doesn't know. You got to break that down just a little bit.
Just make somebody feel like less of a man.
Okay. Go ahead.
But that was before the whole incident when I tried to catch my mom. I tried to catch my mother, and then the cat ended up getting out, and I was apologizing. I was saying, oh, well, I'm sorry, this is it. He's like, yeah, okay. As he's walking out, and I tried to apologize.
I thought y'all was cool.
I thought we were as well.
So Biff was an undercover snake, huh?
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
So he was trying to get Kelly, too.
I get to her mentally, not get to her physically.
I think both, man.
I don't know.
I mean, because you don't attack somebody when they're not around.
He's 56.
He was a real player from the Himalayas, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, my ex-wife is 20.
You don't tend to make you surrender.
Yeah. But I tried to apologize again. And see, I have a slight bit of a temper. Mm-hmm. And I tried to apologize again, and he did the same little, okay, yeah, whatever.
So you just tried to brush
And then
you
I
off.
said, okay, look, you got one more again. And then he's outside, and I see him through the door like, well, what are you going to do about it? But he likes to brag about how he knows all these Southfield police officers and, oh, the detective who lives across the street from my house and this, and that, and da-da-da-da. My mom told us to leave, me and Kelly, to, like, de-escalate the situation. So we were trying to. And I called my ex-wife over, and I was like, hey, come here for a second. Right. Bring him with you.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to lay down the law like, look, I don't want any trouble. I don't want any of this nonsense BS. And he's like, you don't talk to her like that. You're not even a man. You need to be a man. M-A-N. And I'm like, dude, you were my best friend. You were my best friend, and now you're with my ex-wife. you were helping me throughout this entire divorce when I was depressed and whatnot.
Okay.
He's like, rewind?
Yeah, man.
Rewind.
So this was your
Welcome
best...
to Dark Corners with TJ Rose.
So this guy was your best friend, and he gets with your ex-wife,
Mm-hmm.
and then he tries to demasculate you.
Yeah. By telling me I'm not a man because
So
Kelly
wait a
bought me
minute.
my cars.
Wait a
Kelly
minute,
paid
hold
my
on.
down payments.
Wait, hold on.
And I'm like, how am I not a man? Look at this car. Yeah, she helped me get it. And something my grandfather always said to me.
Mm-hmm.
A man is more of a man when he can admit that he needs the help and accept the help rather than suffer in silence.
That's true. Okay, so back to the story, right? So back to where you had this suicidal moment, right?
Because he was telling me that I'm not a man.
So after
and
this,
whatnot. And
this
then
encounter,
the one thing he said, he's like, the girls would be better off without you.
and that made you think.
That's what
That triggered it, and you started to think about what he actually said.
I was.
That
driving.
none of the rest of it you didn't care about.
Yeah,
But when he said that your daughters
would be better off
would
without me.
be better off without you, and then you started to think about all the things
I was
that you were
thinking about
going
it as
through.
I was driving home. So I only had to drive from 8 Mile in Wyoming to 9 Mile in Wyoming because we're literally around the corner.
So
I'm driving from Detroit to Ferndale, one street.
it's like 5 minutes, if that, right?
3.
3 minutes.
But
so
I started
that,
thinking about it, and I just started crying, and I called my dad. Now, I met my dad for the first time when I was 23.
Okay.
Like that, I can
Okay,
remember.
so
when I
hold
was
on.
23.
Let's go back. Let's go back before you get to that part.
Mm-hmm.
So for those 3 minutes,
It
minutes.
just created a whirlwind in my head.
in those 3 minutes, you thought about a lot of depressing thoughts.
I was ready to give up my parental rights. I was ready to waive
All
my
because
parental
of
rights.
what?
All because of
What you
was
went
said.
through? No. What was said affected you. But after what was said, the things that you started to think about is what really caused that whirlwind.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that you started to think about was, am I really a man? Were you thinking like those type of thoughts?
Am I really a man?
Am I really
Can
a
I really
man?
provide for my
Can
daughters?
I really provide for my daughters?
Because here's the thing. This guy, Biff,
Yeah.
he likes to, because she has majority of the custody. It's It's a joint legal custody.
But she's the custodial parent.
Yes.
Right.
But I get them whenever I want them, or if like she has to go to work and I don't work afternoons.
You
So
go
say
take-
like if she texted me earlier today and said, "Oh, well, I need you to watch the girls while I go to work,"
Right.
I would take the girls
Right.
because right around the corner, and then I would have texted you like, "Hey, can't make it." Boom.
Right.
But I got my girls, and so anytime she has to go to work, I watch the girls. The courts don't care about that, but it's me having time with my girls
Right.
because I am their number one fan. He will take them out to anything like, oh, well, Biff took us out to the DIA. I'm a member of the DIA. We go a lot of times. Or he took us here. He took us there. He took us here. Okay, you're taking care of my girls on your dime, but they still love me more. When I show up, nothing else exists. I am the rock star.
And that's what brought you out of that?
I was thinking about it at that time because I even mentioned that to him. Like, yeah, they don't care about you. I am the prize pig, basically. But at that time when he said that, like, oh, the girls would be better off without you. It was like, I started thinking about that. Like, look at me. I'm in a crappy apartment in Ferndale. I can't really do much. I am not at the status that I was due to financial hardships. How can I provide for them? How can I do this? How can I do that? And then, yeah, it sent me those minute seconds took me into a spiral and into a whirlwind. And it took me down so much to the point where, yeah, I was ready. I was like, no, I would be better off. They would be better off without me. And I called my dad. Hadn't seen, first time I met him when I was 23. I just called him, and he lives in West Bloomfield. And I said, I'm driving out to you now. I need you.
And he was the support for you.
He said he would beat my ass.
Oh, whoa.
If I waived my parental rights.
Oh, okay.
He was a staff sergeant.
All right,
And
so
he said
so
he
that
would
and
he
that
would mess me up.
so he
so
so he
bad.
came with the tough love,
Yes.
and that tough love helped you out of that situation.
No.
No?
It took a minute to process. It took about 2 days to process because I called my attorney the next day and I said, well, hey, contact her attorney and say, well, how would she feel if I gave up parental rights and whatnot? And then I called my uncle, who was a former correctional officer. He was a correctional officer for like 25 years. I called him Superman.
Okay.
I talked to Superman, and he gave me a little bit because he went through the same situation that I went through.
Okay.
And he gave me a complete breakdown of everything, of how it should go, how it was going. And he was saying, you know what the issue is with you and your ex-wife? You guys are too close.
So
guys
you can't.
talk about-
So you can't be too close when co-parenting.
You guys talk about everything to each other. If she's bored at work, she calls you and you just talk to her, especially if Kelly's at work, and you guys talk and you guys can't be friends. All you guys are just parents. You got Kelly, she got him, y'all too close.
So just parents break down to communicate basically about the children, right? So
And that's it.
That's it. When they going to school, they have school clothes. They going to this production.
Well, that's the thing.
This sports.
And that's the thing.
But no,
I've
no.
offered, because even though my paychecks are so minimal now, no, they are. Even
Right.
though they're so minimal now, if she still needs help with something, I offer her help, and she always says, "Oh, I'm good, I'm good." But I'm still showing a paper trail of I'm offering this help.
Yeah, but the courts don't care about that.
They don't.
The only thing the courts care about is the payment that is coming through them.
And it was
And if it
initially
doesn't
going
come
to
through
be $995 a month
Oh,
for 2 kids.
yeah.
I had to go through the breakdown, and even the judge went through the breakdown with me in court and show that after paying that, I would still be $500 in the hole after every paycheck, and that's after all my bill payments.
They only supposed to take 20%.
6 now.
6%.
It's 6% of your gross income now.
Oh, when did that change?
2019.
2019.
And he went through everything.
For
He was
per
like,
child or for the
General.
order
In
period?
general.
Period. 6%.
And then he went through all of my bills that I listed off, and I sent him copies. And he was like, you would still be $500 in the hole, and you still would not be able to afford gas. You would not be able to afford groceries.
You won't be able to live. So that's why they said it's only supposed to be 20%.
The
You're not
man
supposed
is
to.
allowed to live.
Right. Right.
And
then hopefully-
there's no longer, oh, well, if you can't do it, well, F you, get a roommate.
Oh, they can't do that anymore?
No.
That's changed too.
Yes.
So look at that, people. Some of the laws have changed. 6%. It was 20%. Now they're only going to take 6%, allowing you to live
That
and
was
allowing
on
you.
that was on my paperwork that I saw. It said 6%.
Okay.
So different situations can cause for different things. My situation might not be your situation or anything like that, because I was married to my child, both my kids' mom, and it's a divorce.
Yeah, but usually how it goes is usually clear across the board. They don't make when it comes to the numbers. There's no exception to the numbers. The numbers are what the numbers are, pretty much.
Yeah.
But they do make different situations for you to pay. They can take away, they can add. You know what I'm saying? But it all goes towards your income. Your income sets what they can do.
And at the time that the child support was determined, I was making $34.50 an hour.
Okay.
And so now that's changed because I took a greatly reduced step back, and I'm only doing $19.50 an hour now.
$19.50 an hour?
I took a 20% pay cut to leave a very racist environment.
Oh, in the medical field? Is that what it is?
Henry Ford Hospital, yes.
They called it out. But no. You know what the hospitals are, I will say they do change the quality of service depending on what type of insurance you have.
Not even depending on
Some type of, well, I'm saying from this end, from the being serviced end, you're providing the service.
From the
which
being
is a little
service
different.
end, do you know what is the most overlooked, overjudged, and undercared for group of people?
The elderly?
Black women.
Oh, wow. Never knew that.
Black women. Women in general. There was an issue that I had at the hospital I was at in Pontiac.
Mm-hmm.
There was a young lady. She was about 19. She gave birth. I will never forget her name, but I won't say it out here.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Lawsuits.
The names are, not revealed
Protected.
to protect the innocent and the people who don't want nobody to know.
She gave birth on an Easter Sunday.
Okay.
And looking at her record, she was complaining about abdominal pain and whatnot and everything.
Okay.
Everybody was just chalking it up to postpartum depression and whatnot. Not postpartum depression, but postpartum pain and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing a rotation, and I was walking through the ER early that Thursday morning, so 5 days later. She was in the ER trauma bay, dead.
Whoa.
Come to find out, her appendix ruptured while she was pushing,
Ooh.
and it went into sepsis.
Right. But if they had addressed it right after that, they could have treated the infection.
All they had to do was a scan.
That's it.
All they had to do was a scan. And she wasn't black. She was white.
She was white?
Yeah.
So it even happened to white women.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But women are often deemed by a lot of medical professionals, especially older medical professionals, as, oh, they're confrontational, oh, they're emotional.
It's just women in general. That's interesting.
But when you are a black woman, you are deemed that times two. Because you're deemed as over emotional, over dramatic. Because
some
of
of
the
the women-
stereotype that is
But
given.
some women are over.
They are, but you can't judge that based off of
Right, but
just
your
one
experience is supposed to be the medical. So you're supposed to look at the charts. And the charts are supposed to tell you how her health is and everything else. You're not
if
supposed
somebody's
to
saying
judge
I'm
it.
complaining of pain,
Right.
you do a scan.
Right, you check it out.
You
Yeah.
check off
You don't just
every
brush it off.
box, dot every I, cross every T.
Okay. I understand that. So
And
look.
this woman was only 19.
Whoa, a 19-year-old white
With
woman.
a 4-day-old baby. I will never forget her name because it deems how I treat every patient that comes into
Moving forward.
yes.
All right, Doc. Well, you know what? It's getting close to time. So give us some medical advice, man. Some deep medical advice that we haven't heard before. That we need to hear. That we need to hear.
This Tri-City area,
Okay.
Detroit, Ferndale, Warren. Hell, I'm not going to go further than that. Detroit, Ferndale, Warren, Royal Oak, all this area, Southfield. We have the highest rate of herpes,
Ooh.
HIV,
Oh.
chlamydia,
Okay.
gonorrhea.
Wow. That's like 5 of them. In where? The highest compared to where?
Within these cities,
The highest compared to who?
as opposed to the next neighboring cities. 85%.
Okay.
Wear your condoms. Take your medication. Go get tested.
Right. So like we talked about last week, don't let your girlfriend go get tested. You
And
need
then
to
you
go get,
thinking
and then
you're
you
clean.
thinking you're clean. You need to go get tested. You need to protect yourself, right?
We have the highest rate of STDs within the next surrounding cities. We have the highest rate of depression.
Because of the STDs?
No.
Just depression?
in general.
Okay. Probably because of the STDs.
Probably.
Because
Probably
you can
not.
get depressed if you got herpes.
But you can get depressed if you
And
have
if you
herpes.
got gonorrhea too, you can get depressed.
You can get depressed if you have herpes, but also
And chlamydia.
you can use sex as an escape.
Oh, like a drug. So like alcohol, whatever you use.
You can also use sex as an escape.
As an escape.
Oh, I just feel like this about myself, so I'm going to just go and sleep with a random person. And then you're
Okay, so look.
go for it.
And we got to go. Time is running short. So, last question, and I got to ask you. You'll be back. He'll be back next week. Hey, look, if you want to call in, you want to ask Doc some questions, you're more than welcome. Next week we'll open up the lines, and you can call in and ask Doc some questions. Doc, you tell them if you can they call and ask you some questions.
Please feel free.
Feel free. So next week we'll start opening up the phones, and you can ask Doc questions. So look, here we go. Oral sex.
Mm-hmm.
If you wear a condom, but you don't protect yourself during oral sex, can you still catch a disease?
Yes.
You guys hear that? So a lot of people who
That's actually the most. That's actually the easiest way to transmit form of like oral herpes.
Oral herpes. I mean, yeah, that makes sense because it's oral herpes. So you can obviously transfer it that way because it's oral herpes. So oral herpes can be transferred through oral sex. So look, whatever you guys doing, remember they have dental dam. They have other things to protect you when you're doing oral sex. So hey, remember, just because you use a condom doesn't fully protect you. If you're kissing or doing oral sex, you can still transfer sexually transmitted diseases that way. Hey, the best way to do it is not have it at all until you find that right person and get married. But if you do decide to do that, please protect yourself so we can get these numbers to drop and to go down. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Dr. Troy. We appreciate you coming in. We hope to see you next week. We hope you don't get a call and say you can't come in or they don't have any Budweisers at the store because you know you wouldn't have Budweiser. But hey, I'm your man, Suede Covington. It's another wonderful Wednesday right here on WJZZ Cool TV, the Suede Covington Show, the best thing on the planet, baby. Hey, there's nothing like the Suede Covington Show. Now we got a doctor on there to help you with some of your issues. Because y'all know y'all got issues out there. So I'll see you next week at 5 p.m. right here, WJZZ Cool TV on the Suede Covington Show. The best thing on the planet. I love you. Keep tuning in and telling everybody when the show come on. And I'll holler at you. Peace.